In the studio right now, though, Sydney favourites Seekae. We've got George, Alex and John here in the studio. How you doing, lads?
Good, thanks.
Yeah,
Good.
well,
Good stuff. Now, let's talk about most recently. What were the most recent shows you played besides for this tour? Was it back at Splendour?
No, we played in Melbourne and Brisbane last week. We played 2 shows in Melbourne and 1 in Brisbane.
How'd they go?
They were good.
Yeah.
It was good turnouts, good lights, and good sound.
Lovely. Well, that's
Yeah.
perfect.
What could you ask for?
Did anything go wrong?
Nothing.
Oh,
Nothing
gosh.
at all.
Perfection. You've attained it. So you performed at Vivid a few months ago. How is it going back to those smaller venues? I suppose at Vivid in the Opera House, everyone's sitting down on these shows, I'm guessing. Does it change up the show at all for you guys or still the same?
I mean, it is a bit of a different vibe, but I think we're pretty used to it at the same time. It's good to kind of show new material as well, and we even got to the point where someone got on stage and started dancing.
Really?
Yeah.
How
it
did
was
you guys
out of
cope?
control.
Really?
Security guard, yeah. Took him straight out.
Your personal security guard.
Yeah, swiftly dealt with that problem.
How-
We like going back to those to smaller venues. There's always a strong vibe in a small room, and it's easy to chase the vibe in a small room. You don't have to look in the corners of a massive opera theatre or anything like that.
Yeah, well, that's what I was going to ask about the opera theatre, because do you ever feel like people aren't responding, or it's just you guys? I mean, you had the eight strings behind you as well, but do you feel like it's harder to gauge that vibe throughout the big theatre?
Yeah, that was definitely interesting. We came out on stage and we couldn't really see the crowd, so it was sort of couldn't really gauge. I mean, we'd been told that it had sold out, and we were kind of like, we didn't know what the vibe would be, and it was pretty quiet when we came out. And then sort of when our lights, like sort of in like maybe the 3rd or 4th track burst, it opened up a bit. All of a sudden, you see this huge crowd, and I was like, "Whoa, shit! There's that many people here."
Must be a good feeling.
Next song, yeah.
Confirmation that they were telling the truth.
Yeah,
There are
exactly.
people here. That's good. So one of the big things, I guess, to come out of Vivid was that you guys have debuted the vocals, and was it you, Alex, who brought it in? Yeah. So who put their hand up for vocals, or were you always going to do it? How did it come about that Seekae thought, let's introduce live vocals?
I think we were also doing a bit of singing. We've always done a bit of singing on the records. It's just that we kind of, with each record, we try and find something new to do and a new field to explore. So I think for us, it's just about doing what feels right and doing doing something new that's exciting for us. And at this point, it's using vocals. You know.
And with the last CD, there was the intent to do vocals on there, but it just ended up that there wasn't really enough room in the mixes to fit it, because it was kind of like an afterthought. It was like, oh, let's put some vocals on some of these tracks, but everything was just so full that we couldn't just like jam them in there. So we've made an intentional
Space.
Yeah, we've made a cavity for the vocals, and hopefully we've squeezed them in there. So the tracks are a lot more simple.
Yeah.
On this.
So previously, when the basis for all of your songs would be, the electronic sounds, now you're putting aside that spot for the vocals, or do they come in still after you create the bulk of the song? How does it work in creation?
We're being really conservative with what elements we add. Like, we'll have lots of things, but we'll strip lots of things out and, leave them and put them in momentarily, rather than just having like, a sound just going for the whole track. I think so. Yeah.
So for example, artists like James Blake and Subtract Overseas, who the vocals are a huge part, and even locally Collarbones, you guys want to sort of introduce it more slowly. Is that how I'm reading it?
Like, as in, you mean...
Like, as in not a full-on every song's going to have...
Yeah, definitely. There definitely will be some instrumental tracks, for sure.
Yeah, cool.
I'm not sure if it's going to be half-half or whatever, but...
Well, speaking about the new material, have you guys been writing in the studio, recording? What's happening?
Yeah, we just got out of, just before we did the Brisbane and Melbourne shows, recording some woodwind and brass and strings, and new vocals and drums and stuff. So
yeah, nice.
We've kind of got like a whole hard drive full of potential stems, and we're just gonna spend the next few months really going through that and trying to make new tracks.
Yeah, lovely. And do any of them sneak their way into these shows happening over these run of dates?
Not necessarily the recordings with the instruments, but some new tracks that we only made about a month or so ago have made it into the set list.
How'd they go?
Yeah, pretty good.
Yeah?
Pretty good. People got down.
Yeah, people got down. People got up on stage too.
That's true. Yeah.
So a lot of the Seekae thing is the great live show and the improvisation in the live show. Do you still manage to get that in even at like an opera house show? Do you still sort of jam it out on stage in such a big environment?
At the opera house, it was pretty strict. Like we had a pretty clear idea of what was going on. But with these shows, there's been more and more experimentation with kind of like just feeling the vibe of the room and like making that drop 4 times what it was in rehearsals because there's guys on stage and stuff. And I think in these shows, as opposed to the opera house show, it's more conducive to kind of like feeding off each other in the room and improvising to a certain degree.
Yeah, definitely. Well, they sound like something that a lot of people would want to come along to. So I'll give the details. We'll take a song in a minute and come back, but there's 3 shows happening this week at the Basement. Have you guys played there a lot or never? Or
this is our first time.
Okay, there you go. So debuting at the Basement. Seekae, you've got shows on Thursday, Friday and Saturday. Now, Thursday and Saturday tickets are still available. Moshtix, I believe, is where you can head to buy tickets. 3 shows. It's quite a bit. What spurred the 3 shows rather than one bigger show at, say, a larger venue? Was there any thought process in that?
Yeah, we've been doing a bunch of big rooms lately, especially in Sydney. So it was kind of just for us a way of, we're playing new material as well. So we kind of wanted to control the vibe of the room a little bit more. With a big room, sort of, you can start to feel the pressure after a while. So we thought, smaller rooms, and we can play more shows. Yeah, we can play more shows, and people can get a bit closer and feel the vibe a bit more.
Yeah, so it's definitely a homecoming sort of for maybe the fans who didn't get to see you at the big shows. Love your live show in a smaller venue. You've taken it back to 3 shows there. So yeah, as I said, at the Basement, I did hand the guys their first ever EP they dropped into FBI, the Jilly. What do you remember about the Jilly? Because the Jilly's what does the Jilly mean?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know where that name came from.
We used to be obsessed with the words like Jilly and Billy, and I don't know why.
Words.
Yeah, just those 2 words, Jilly and Billy, and I don't know. I can't even remember much about that year.
Long time fish pie. Some good
classics.
Yeah.
I think 1 or 2 of those made it on the album.
Okay.
But that's
Do they ever find their way into the live show?
Since then.
None of that.
Wouldn't even know how to play
small
it.
elements of those tracks make it in. But
Some
I think that's an accident, yeah.
There's I was looking through your Facebook and Twitter and whatever. There's a great photo of you guys with a mug. Like, it looks like what me and my friends call a foment, so like a fake moment where I think it's you pretending, having a pretend laugh, looking like you're having the best time in the world. Merchandise. Have you guys got a lot of merchandise running around the traps?
We do. We've obviously got mugs now.
Yeah.
We've got a few new colours in T-shirts and new coloured jumper as well, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tea towels?
We were thinking of tea towels and mouse pads, but you have to wait till next year, everyone.
On the topic of pictures, you guys have got that one for the recent tour poster of you guys running through the street, look like you're thieving something. Is that from ages ago or is that recently?
Relatively, like 3-4 months ago?
Yeah, that was shot by a good friend of ours, McKay Stevenson. He's an awesome photographer, and we come to him with some ideas and we work with him on the ideas, and he's pretty open to trying stuff out. And that one was just put some stockings on our head and run down the street in Adidas.
It's a great shot running down in Adidas with the stockings on the head. Not something you can do just like every day in the middle of broad daylight. Did you have to? Was there any issues with police running up? That would have been a great shot if the police were up to you.
The original plan was to be outside a 7-Eleven with crowbars, but then we realised that people were looking at us like we were about to smash them with crowbars.
Yeah.
It was like a Chinese butcher, I think, on the lane we were on. They kept coming out and kind of giving us weird looks.
Yeah.
You were going to thieve ducks.
We were actually running away from them.
Lovely. All right, so I mentioned these new shows happening at the Basement on Thursday and Saturday, and we've talked a bit about new material. Is there any sort of schedule or dates, or do you guys think you've got, say, 3 months to record, or how do you guys plan in their future?
Yeah, we give ourselves, we've got a deadline at the moment, and that's early January for the mixes to be done. So, we've got plenty of work to do between now and then. So, as far as release goes, you can't really say until the material's done. But yeah, that's December. Hopefully, we'll be getting towards having a solid look at the record.
Yeah, exciting stuff. All right, lovely. Well, thanks for coming in, guys. George, Alex and John have been joining from Seekae. and they're going to be playing a show at the Basement on Thursday the 6th, Friday the 7th, and Saturday the 8th. So this weekend, tickets are still available for Thursday and Saturday. Thanks for coming in.
Thanks for having us.
Cheers, thanks.